Hey everyone, and welcome back to another review. So in today's video, I'm going to review yet another TV show. I was going to review this TV show the same day I reviewed Shipping Wars and Ice Road Truckers, but I decided to wait and do this a different day. And here I am reviewing it. So, what is the show I'm reviewing? The show I'm reviewing is called Doomsday Preppers. And Doomsday Preppers is a show in which they prep for the end times, whatever the prepper considers the end times. And if you don't know what prepping is where you stockpile canned food, canned stuff, canned goods, and like boxed items in a pantry, as well as like frozen foods and meat in a freezer. And then obviously you still have to buy your like bread, milk, eggs, cheese, like fresh fruit and vegetables, everything that's like a boxed item, a frozen item, like a canned good item. You have to routinely keep buying, obviously, but all the rest you can stockpile. And basically what they're saying is if you have like enough food for say 6 months, you have to have enough food in your freezers and your like stock room to not go to the grocery store, have to go to the grocery store once and feed you and all your family members that live in the same house as you for that long of time. But let's get back to the show review. So that's basically what the show's about. But, or the gist of it. But then they also show you like how they're prepping. That's kind of the show is how they prep and what they're prepping for. Sometimes they do like extreme stuff like saying, "Oh man, like airborne sickness is gonna take over the world." I think it was like something like to do with like sickness was gonna take over the world and end the world. Like COVID was like COVID. Something like COVID related. And they said, you can't leave the room for this long. I'm like, the kid doesn't even have sickness. The kid stay in the room. Like, the kid doesn't even have sickness. The kid's not even sick. I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah, you can play it out like the kid's sick. Act like the kid's sick. But you can't, like, hold him hostage hold the kid hostage in the room just because they're playing a game. I mean I know it's part of the training, but so it's like not really sick. I mean, you can make a plan what you're gonna do when you're sick, but you don't have to like act it out for like 2 days. Let the kids be kids, And then some of the reasons why they're prepping for are also kind of unrealistic. If you see at the end of the show, they like say scientists say or this type of person says, that would be knowledgeable in it. They research it and they say like this many like it's not gonna happen for this long, or it's never gonna happen, or it's extremely unlikely to happen, or very unlikely to happen, or can happen once in every time. There's sometimes where it's like they kind of prep for real. Some of the preps they actually like the reasons why they're prepping for it actually somewhat or it's kind of believable, and then sometimes they are, and then there's also times that they're like very far fetched, and then sometimes the reasons why they're prepping are actually pretty neat. Like sometimes they'll just go out to like their bug out location. They'll live in a house, and they'll have like a second little house that they got, or a little area that they got stashed away in like the middle of like a woods or middle of like the forest or something like that. They built, they built like a second area in case worst comes to worst and they have to evacuate. They have to go to a bug out location. Like that's kind of, that's like not as exciting as like some of the preps they do. Like some ones they say they're like one of them, the family owns an amusement park. So then they are turning an amusement park into like makeshift prep room, makeshift like prepper area, and like the outsiders, you know, the outsiders of the like the people who are visiting the amusement park or visiting like the area have no idea that there's preps going on inside there. They have no idea that there's things to do with prepping inside, you know? They don't even know that. They just think it looks cool to them. And the outsider have no idea it's even prepping related. It has something to do with prepping. Like the only people I know are the workers, some of the workers, and then like the family, you know. Some of that's like pretty neat or prepping for like kind of unique circumstances or unique like things they have for their prepping. You know, like houses or you know, like they have like some like one had like unique house, unique area that they had. That was their main house. It was their house they lived in, and they customized it for prepping or got it that way. You know, it's actually pretty unique, pretty cool. But most of that prep stuff they're prepping for is like really fake, stuff like that. And they have practical preppers like rate your preps, like rate your like, you know, like you. They rate you, and some of them are actually kind of realistic preps. If I go on in that part, like they actually one person did like hunting, like they teach their kids like hunt for animals with like a knife. And you can hunt. Like hunting is pretty popular. So I mean, teaching your kids to hunt. Some people hunt, and then if they, you know, people hunt. So I can understand that one. If you have to, you know, you get your meat by hunting animals. You know, so I can see that. You know, that's part of their culture for the boys and the guy and the guys in the family. So I can understand that if it's in learning and you know if it's part of prepping, you know, they want to teach kids to prep, you know, as well, you know. And then but they also have practical preppers rate people's preps. And they rate them on the scale of 1 to 10. Like food, water, and what their shelter looks like, you know. And then like an X factor would be like something unique, you know, something unique. And then I think like something else like X factor, like shelter, like food, water, maybe something else. But they rate out of 20. They rate from 1 to 20, not 10. But you can rate from 10 anyways, 1 to 10 anyways. It won't really matter, you know. But I mean, it's kind of like I don't know how reliable practical preppers is. I mean, practical preppers seems like a legit thing. I haven't really done research on practical preppers, but it's like preppers are they like rate for practicality, you know, for like just wanting to prep for, you know, where they're prepping for, is it practical for what they're prepping for, or is it practical for like an everyday prepping situation, you know, that too. So yeah, some of the ratings on this show seem like really like low. Some of them actually seem like pretty high, like the overall scores, you know. So, and then some of them are like pretty lacking in prepping, in this and that item, this or that, and then they go back and like add like something like they shot like a home video of it like on their computer webcam or laptop's webcam or camera or cell phone. I don't know how long they film when when the show was filmed, but one of them, and then they send the video to them and they add in this clip of it, you know, what they changed and improved, you know, short video on it. But I mean, so it can actually get people better prepping, or what they need to prep for. But I give the show like a 6 out of 10. It's just fake. The preps are kind of fake. You know, like what they're prepping for is kind of fake, pretty fake. So, and most sometimes because they say it's not like realistic, or it's like, you know, they say like it's not gonna happen ever. They never predict to happen ever, or they never predict this to happen in like forever, or it's never happened in this long of time, like a long, long, long time. You know, like forever ago. You know, so you know, stuff like that. So you know, so stuff like that. But you know, so that's where it's kind of fake. And then some of the preps are just like some of the preps are actually realistic, so I give that a little. I like that. Some are the prepping for realistic things. Some of them are just actually unique things. You know, like they'll build up unique things or shelters. So you know, like the amusement park thing, or the theme park thing. You know, the cannons, stuff like that. They can use it as a prepping thing. They can also use it as like a just like, you know, thing for their you know, people come to their like little park. I don't know if it's an amusement park or what you call it, but you know, like Civil War, like a war reenactment thing, park or some place or something like that. I don't know what you call it, but yeah, stuff like that. You know, that's kind of unique preps or prepping uniquely for this or that. You know, but some of them are just kind of like boring. You know, not really super exciting. You know, you know, and some are just kind of stupid how they prep. There's one that's trying to survive like a hurricane. Like, if you're trying to survive like a hurricane or so that, there's 3 people they were doing that with, group. One was gonna walk, one was gonna like, you know, bike, and one was gonna like, you know, try and like kayak in like water. Like, if there's a hurricane or something coming, why would you hike? Why would you kayak? You know, if it's a real hurricane or something that you're prepping for, you're trying to do that training for. It's like, really? I'm like, it's kind of, you're an idiot. But I mean, you kind of are, because you don't want to kayak in a hurricane or something like that. The hurricane's, you know, coming. You want to get out as fast as you can, fastest way, you know, whatever means that is, you know. So yeah. And then, yeah, I don't have much to say on the show. It's just kind of like long-winded about some of the things I found interesting in the show. It's kind of repetitious. The show is, after like they prep, you see how they prep, and then you have practical preppers rate them, and they go back and forth between multiple different preppers in the show. I think in the beginning they had like one prepper for like half the show, and one prepper for the other half. Now they split them. I think they split them back and forth between, you know, they go back and forth between the preppers. It's kind of like, which doesn't really matter either way, but just kind of like, or it'd be kind of better having it like one prepper and then another prepper, you know. And if you get bored out of a prepper, they might switch to another thing, you know, too. So I don't know, but it is what it is. But yeah, 6 of 10. Like I said, like all the reason I said, you know, can make this show a 6, like, but it's still watchable. It's just not like a show I'd go out my way to watch, you know, or you know, recommend. But if it's on TV and someone has it on TV, you know, that's really the only thing on that I find interesting. I'll watch that. But so next time, take care.